Namaste friends, I welcome you all to my YouTube channel Thermal Talks. If you are new to this channel, I would like to inform you that we are discussing the series of presentations on introductory concepts of heat transfer. Therefore today let us understand the thermal resistance in plane and composite wall. As we have already discussed in a previous video, what is thermal resistance and how it exists in conduction and convection. And further, we have deduced that the temperature distribution is linear for one-dimensional steady-state heat conduction in rectangular coordinates without heat generation. Let us take an example of a wall of a container holding a hot fluid inside and it is exposed to ambient cold fluid outside. We already know that heat transfer takes place from region of high temperature to the region of low temperature, as in this case from hot fluid to the cold fluid through a solid medium, which is a plane wall. What happens now is thermal resistance is present at each medium. Convective resistance from hot fluid to wall, conductive resistance within the wall, and again convective resistance from hot wall to cold fluid. Hot fluid maintained at temperature T infinity in transfers its heat to plane wall. As a result, inside wall attains temperature T1. The convective thermal resistance is offered to heat transfer in this equation. Since inside wall is maintained at temperature T1, there creates a temperature difference across the wall, and now heat transfer takes place within the solid plane wall for that conductive thermal resistance is offered as shown in this equation. As a result of heat conduction through the wall, the outside wall reaches to an temperature T2 lesser than that of inside wall temperature as represented qualitatively. And finally, heat is lost by outer wall surface to the cold fluid, that is convective thermal resistance is offered to the heat transfer. That is what we can write in this equation. As we have systematically analyzed heat transfer mechanism from hot fluid to cold fluid through a plane wall, now it becomes utmost important to understand the characteristic of heat transfer. That is, under steady state conditions, the rate of heat transfer remains constant. That is, the rate of heat convection into the wall is equal to rate of heat conduction through the wall is equal to rate of heat convection from the wall. With respect to above statement made, we can write heat transfer equation in this fashion. But we do know from mathematics that if 3 by 6 is equal to 5 by 10 is equal to 7 by 4 is equal to 1 by 2, then we can write adding numerators divided by adding denominators, we will still get value 1 by 2. Using this mathematical terminology, let us find out heat transfer from hot fluid to cold fluid through the material. That is, we can write heat transfer Q is equal to all the temperature differences terms divided by all thermal resistance. Now we can remove T1 and T2 values, and finally we can write T infinity in minus T infinity out divided by convective resistance plus conductive resistance plus convective resistance. Now we shall go further so as to say heat transfer from hot fluid to cold fluid through multiple layers of solid medium having different thermal conductivities, different thickness, that we generally call a case of composite wall. Okay, then let us begin. With applying thermal resistance across all the mediums, that is, at first convection happens from hot fluid to the inside surface of wall A. Then conduction across wall A. Subsequently, conduction across wall B and wall C. And finally, convection occurs from wall C to outside fluid. Now that the rate of heat transfer is constant, we can write the heat transfer rate as sum of all heat transfers of individual mediums. So finally we can write heat transfer is equal to temperature of hot fluid minus temperature of cold fluid divided by all the thermal resistances. Convective resistance plus conductive resistance of wall A plus conductive resistance of wall B plus conductive resistance of wall C plus again convective resistance at outside fluid. Let us take another case of composite wall. We have four solid walls A, B, C, D. Wall B and C offers resistance parallelly, very similar to electrical resistance concept. And inside fluid is maintained at temperature Ti and outside fluid is maintained at temperature To. Now if you observe carefully, the temperature T2 is an outside temperature of wall A, which means wall A offers heat as a measure of temperature T2 to wall B and C parallelly. But wall B and C will not offer same temperature T3 at wall D junction, as both wall B and C have different thermal conductivities. Practically speaking, wall D receives two different values of temperature T3 from wall B and wall C. But for simplicity of understanding of heat transfer mechanism, we assume that at intersection of wall BC and D is same, that is temperature T3. Now heat transfer equation is as follows. You can see that there exists what we call effective thermal resistance between wall B and C, and we can write effective thermal resistance as 1 by R effective is equal to 1 by RB plus 1 by RC, where RB and RC are thermal resistances of wall B and wall C respectively. And finally we can write the heat transfer through this composite wall arrangement as follows: temperature of inside fluid minus temperature of outside fluid divided by all thermal resistances, where we have one effective thermal resistance because of the parallel combination of wall B and wall C. What if we have three parallel thermal resistances? We can write effective thermal resistance in this way, that is 1 by R effective is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. So I hope it is clear to you. Let us solve a problem to understand this thing in a better way. Let us take an example of wall of a house. Brick and plaster is arranged in this fashion, and a foam layer is attached at the inside surface of the wall. Now the inside air temperature is 20 degree and outside ambient temperature is minus 10 degree. The thermal conductivity values of foam, plaster and bricks are given as follows. Let us find out the rate of heat transfer and temperature at foam plaster junction. For simplicity of understanding, I have taken the portion of the arrangement which we are going to evaluate and named the thermal resistances as follows. R1, the thermal resistance of the foam, R2, R3, R5, R6, thermal resistance of the plaster, R4, thermal resistance of the brick, and it is arranged in this fashion. So we can see here R3, R4, R5 follows a parallel combination of composite wall. So let's get solving. So as we have already understood composite wall parallel analogy, now I have a composite wall here. So wherein initially there is a R1 foam, R2 is plaster. Now I have plaster brick, plaster sandwich, and I have R6 again plaster. So I can write the resistances in this way. Ri is convective resistance from inside fluid to the inside surface of the foam. R1 is conductive resistance within the foam. R2 is conductive resistance within the plaster or cement, and R3, R4, R5. Now these are effective resistance within the material, cement and the brick. R6 is again conductive resistance, and RO is convective resistance from outside of the wall to outside fluid. So now I can write convection at inside and outside the wall surface. At inside, convective resistance is 1 over HI into surface area. Surface area which is exposed is 1 meter width and 25 centimeter in height. So I get 0.4 degrees Celsius per watt. At outside wall, it is 1 over HO into surface area. Since it is a same structure, width is 1 meter and height is 25 centimeter. So resistance, convective resistance at outside wall is 0.16. Now let us calculate conductive resistances within the structure. So conduction is happening within the material. So R1 here is the foam, it is foam material. So details are given. Here L1 is nothing but the thickness of the foam. The thickness is 3 centimeter they have given. So 0.03. K1 or nothing but the thermal conductivity of the foam, 0.026, and cross sectional area. Here cross sectional area is again same as surface area because the heat is transferring from left side to the right side. So cross sectional area is the area which is perpendicular to the heat flow. So which is nothing but height 25 centimeter and width 1 meter, 0.25 into 1. So I get conductive resistance R1. Now I can calculate conductive resistance R2 and R6, which are very same. They have thickness also similar, 2 centimeter. So without having much confusion, I can directly write R2 is equal to R6. That is equal to, either I can take L2 or L6 because L2 and L6 are 2 centimeter itself, and K2 and K6. Again, entire R2, R3, R5, R6 are plaster itself. So all have thermal conductivity same, 0.022. And I get conductive resistance 3.6. Now important comes effective resistance. So I must calculate R3 and R5 now. R3 is again L over K into cross sectional area. Now L is nothing but the thickness. The thickness is 16 centimeter. K is thermal conductivity of plaster, 0.026. Now cross sectional area, think now brick, now R3 is very small. It is only 1.5 centimeter and width is 1 meter. So it is very important to note that the R3 cross sectional area is little smaller there, and R4 is the brick. Height is 22 centimeter and 1 meter in width. So cross sectional area is 0.22 into 1 meter, and R5 is same as R3. So I am going to calculate resistance and finally write the effective resistance. 1 over effective is equal to 1 by R3 plus 1 by R4 plus 1 by R5, and finally effective resistance is 0.96. So as I have calculated all the resistances, let us calculate heat transfer through the wall. So I can, from the definition I can write a temperature difference over thermal resistance. Here temperature difference is inside fluid temperature minus outside fluid temperature divided by all thermal resistances. So Ri is convective resistance, R1, R2, R effective, R6 are conductive resistances, and Ro is convective resistance. So I have calculated it already. So final value Q is 4.38 watt. Now we were told to calculate what is the temperature at foam plaster junction. That is nothing but from the left side wall 3 centimeter inside, what is the temperature. So I can calculate using the same concept. Q is equal to, because Q is same throughout the material, temperature difference over thermal resistance. Now here I am supposed to take temperature difference as inside fluid temperature minus temperature at plaster foam junction. I have taken it as TFP for convenience. And from fluid to the junction, what are all the resistances? We have convective resistance from fluid to the wall, and within the foam I have conductive resistance of foam. So I have one convective resistance, I have conductive resistance Ri plus R1 from temperature T infinity I to TFP. So I can put the values which I already calculated and finally calculate temperature. So inside the wall there is a temperature 20 degrees Celsius, and as soon as heat crosses foam and at foam and plaster junction the temperature is minus 1.9. So in same fashion you can also calculate what is the wall temperature of foam inside the wall. You can also calculate what is the plaster wall temperature outside the wall. In the same equation you can in the same similar fashion you can calculate, but you should be careful enough to add resistances respectively. If you are going to take only one material, there is going to be only one resistance. If there is a combination of materials, then with respect to that you are supposed to take resistances. I hope this is clear. If you have any doubts, please put it in the comment section. I'll try to clear those queries. So that is it for today. I hope you have liked the presentation. I request you to subscribe to my channel and share this video among your friends. See you then, till next time.